by Ernie Banks, the popular former Chicago Cub. We decided to go ahead. We'll play a doubleheader here this afternoon, going into the evening right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com from the Sacramento softball complex. It's the Division III Sac-Joaquin Section Softball Championship. And folks, we've gone into an elimination game. This one is for all the marbles. Pioneer won the first one to force an elimination game, winning 5-3, where Angelica Dark had the win. The winning pitcher had 6 strikeouts on the ball game, throwing a 5-hitter. It was that 5-run second inning that did it all there for Pioneer. For Antelope, Keani Hunter went the distance, but she had difficulty there in the second inning. In fact, they had to bring in Keone Barron to relieve her, but did not help in that second inning as Pioneer allowed that 5-run second inning to hold the rest of the way. Hunter did score a home run, a 2-run home run, in fact, in the fourth, but could not get any closer there for the Titans. So, folks, we're getting ready to set up to get going here. I am going to go ahead and have my broadcast partner here, Brian Hassler, chime in from time to time as he gets the time. And, Brian, do you have the time here to say hello to all the fans here listening across the world on playonsports.com?
Definitely hello to all the fans. We're out here in the hot sun, semi-hot sun.
Well, you got a little bit more girth on me, so I'm not as hot as you are, and we are getting.
I have the wall of humanity that is Emmanuel Chin, our wonderful videographer, blocking me from most of the sun. So only my one leg will be tanned and burned. The other leg will remain pasty and white. So definitely good to see this game. Definitely going to be interesting to see how these two teams react. Antelope, it seemed like that first game, spent the first half of it trying to get their pitching under control, and then spent the rest of the game playing catch-up and started pressing at the end. A lot of first pitch outs, a lot of ground balls, pop flies, whatnot. So definitely be interesting to see what these guys can do. Starting over, 0-0, first inning, and see how they can do out there. But it's definitely going to be a challenge for them to bounce back and see if that pitching can come under control. Because that was definitely the big problem right off in the first. There was that first inning of those first couple innings of a lot of balls, a lot of walks, a lot of poor pitching, surrounded by some really good pitching. Aside from that second inning where they allowed the 5 runs, that's all we saw. There was no other runs scored. There was nothing else going on. So we will see what happens, and we will be right back. One moment, folks. folks, it looks like we are waiting for our umpires to return to the field. So we will return after these brief messages.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot pitch.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot pitch.
One match away from immortality.
And welcome back, folks, to your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Joey Gonzalez, alongside Brian Hassler, our producer. He'll go ahead and jump on from time to time. In fact, probably be able to do well enough to jump on with us for the remainder of the ball game. We're getting set to bring you the elimination game between Pioneer and Antelope. Pioneer beating Antelope in the previous game 5-3 behind some stellar pitching by Angelica Dark and a 5-run second inning from the Patriots. Antelope did well to come back to cut that lead down to count the deficit to 2 by a 2-run homer in the 4th by the pitcher Kiani Hunter, but was not enough there for Antelope. So we've gone to the point here, Brian. It's for all the marbles here. An elimination game where both teams are going to see it, leave it all on the field as the motto of the Antelope Titans.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested to see if the pitching's going to improve for Antelope. They definitely seemed a little tight out there that first game. The start coming off tight, and then at the end just playing from behind and kind of pressing at the end instead of kind of letting the game come to them, you know, instead of waiting for a better pitch, swinging at the first pitch and going out. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what they're able to do. This second game now that, okay, we don't have to worry about, are we going to play a second game? This is it. You play this, you win, you lose, whatever.
Yeah, and so you figure they're going to throw everything out there. At this point, it's pretty much we're going to run out with the same lineups. Looking at the Antelope Titans to bat, starting to bat would be the shortstop Ashley Hughes, the second baseman Michaela Winston, the first baseman Emily Mark to start the 1-2-3 batters as Pioneers go ahead and goes out and takes the field. Look at the number 4 spot is Kiani Hunter, the pitcher. In the 5th spot, Savannah Johnson, the center field. In the 6th, it's Maddie Skibitsky, the catcher. Batting 7th is Kiana Barron, the third baseman. Batting 8th is Megan Asher, the left fielder. And in the 9th spot, it is Kaylee Warner, the DP. The defensive lineup for Pioneer is going to be the same lineup that you saw out there in Game 1. Ashley Dark is going to go ahead and continue to pitch. Tori Bellin is going to catch. You have Gabriela Davis at first. Marissa Arizaga at second. And Angelica Navarro at short. Riley Carlier at third. It is Maddie Bellin in left field. And Erin Lepeld in center. And Amaray Bear in right. So to start things off here for the Titans, Ashley Hughes, the shortstop, she had a single. Actually, she went 2 for 3 in the last game, Brian, and reached base all 3 times. That third time was actually, let's say 2 for 2. The third time was a walk as they take the first pitch. And what I'm interested in here, Brian, is to see how the pitching holds up. Not just for, Dark did a fine job there pitching, recording 6 strikeouts for Pioneer in the first game, but you wonder how that arm's going to hold up. She pitched both games last night, and we'll see whether or not, 14, whether or not 32 innings is how 32 innings is going to affect that arm there for Dark.
Yeah, you definitely talk about Iron Man in other sports, and pitching that much in such a short period of time is definitely Iron Man territory.
Well, Dark bobbled that blooper right up to her, and Ashley Hughes starts off the second game with a single to back to the pitcher. Again, Dark just not able to handle that first knock right back to her. So it'll bring up Michaela Winston, the second baseman. She went 0 for 3 in game 1. Shows a bunt, able to get it down. Here's Carlier, gets her out at first, but Hughes takes second. So good job there by Winston to move the runner over.
Well, yeah, and Antelope seemed to struggle that last game, even laying down the bunt. There was some that got pop foul. There was some, they just couldn't quite get it. Hopefully they got it corrected, because that was something that definitely would have helped them out in that close game last time.
So that brings up Emily Mark, the first baseman for the Titans. Emily Mark was 2 for 4 last ball game. Takes this first pitch strike. Scored a run on that 2-run home run by Hunter. Mark right back to Dark, and out number 2 as Dark got it over to Davis.
A great job by Dark there, kind of just looking over at second base just for a second, hold the runner, get her out at first, so she, Dark's still on that roll she was on that last game.
2 away now here for Keani Hunter. Her last at bat, she flied out to left field. Did have that 2-run home run to deep center field, and it just seemed it was a fast home run. It really got out of here quickly, that home run there, Brian.
Oh, yeah, she got all that, and to the deepest part of the park. I mean, it was a great hit, but it was about the only problem that Dark had that entire game.
There's Hunter out, sends this one out to the outfield, scores 1 run, gonna try to take 3, in trouble, and Hunter tagged out at third, but not before scoring a run there, and now takes the early 1-0 lead right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. So welcome back, folks, to your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Getting ready to bring up the bottom of the first inning. Pioneer bringing up Madison Bellin, the left fielder, Aaron LaPelt, the center fielder, and Angelica Navarro, the shortstop for your 1, 2, and 3 batters. Rounding out the rest of the lineup, it'll be Tori Bellin, the catcher, batting 4th. Gabriella Davis, first baseman, batting 5th. Riley Carlier, third baseman, batting 6th. Marissa Arizaga, second baseman, batting 7th. Emery Bear, right fielder, batting 8th. And then Kylie Juarez, a DP, batting 9th. For the defensive lineup for the Titans, it is Hunter again back at on the pitching mound with Skibitsky behind the plate. We have Mark, Winston, Hughes, and Barron rounding up first, second, shortstop, and third. In left, center, and right, it is Asher, Johnson, and Warner. So in that top of the first, we scored, Keani Hunter scored on Ashley Hughes scored on an error there, an E4, as Keani Hunter, ball was not a hit, it was ruled an error there on the second baseman. But nonetheless, Antelope took a 1-0 lead. So only 1 hit there in that first inning for the Titans. As the sun is going behind the trees here at field number 2, the Sacramento softball complex. chopped on, swung on, and an easy put out there as Hunter got it out to Mark. And retires Madison Bellin. So that'll bring up Aaron LaPelt, the center fielder.
Kind of interesting. The last game started with Antelope scoring in the first inning, and then, Pioneer jumping all over them in that second inning. This one's kind of had a similar start. You have to wonder how much of that bodes well for Pioneer in the rest of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. LaPelt went 2 for 3 in her last ball game. Takes this pitch outside. Yeah, you wonder whether or not if Antelope can withstand if Pioneer threatens or rallies here, Brian, as this pitch is ripped out to foul territory out in left field.
Well, then you also wonder, the team that needs to force the next game, did they expend all their energy and all their everything they had to get into this next game? Are they going to have enough to finish them off now?
1-2 now the count to Aaron LaPelt. And Keani Hunter retires LaPelt looking, and a good strikeout there for the Titans. Bring up a Helica Navarro, the shortstop. Navarro had a really good game the last ball game as she reached on an air, went 2 for 3 for the ball game. This pitch is a bit high and wild, so lucky for Hunter that no runners are on base.
Bob Euchre would say just a bit outside.
Pitch is there for, didn't see the signal there. Looked to me to be a strike there, Brian, but I didn't see the signal there from the umpire. Swung on and finds the gap. So first runner is on for the Patriots. And the bat continues to stay hot there for the shortstop, Angelica Navarro. It'll bring up Tori Bellin, the catcher for the Patriots. And you wonder here, Brian, now if Hunter finds herself in trouble, if she's going to be able to withstand and get herself out of it. And that's what she found trouble with in that second inning in the last ball game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw some pitches that were practically being bowled to the plate. The one hit by pitch was one that landed, a good 3-4 feet in front of the plate and bounced into the hitter.
Yeah.
So definitely there were some control issues.
Yeah, it was Arizaga who attacked that hit by pitch. One the count here to Bellin. Bellin swings on, finds a shortstop and gets it out to Mark. And an easy 6-3 play from Hughes to Mark ends the inning. As Antelope maintains a 1-run lead right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Welcome back, folks, to the Division III Sac-Joaquin Section Softball Championship. The Antelope Titans and the Pioneer Patriots. Pioneer winning game one, 5-3, to force an elimination game here on the Antelope Titans, and all or nothing here for both squads, as it was a double elimination tournament. So Pioneer did what they had to do for game one, and now they're just going all for broke here, game two. In fact, both squads are. As getting ready to start the order is Savannah Johnson. Takes first pitch strike. Savannah Johnson going 1 for 3 the last ball game. Again, Angelica Dark having a good job, having a great game on the mound. 6 strikeouts. Gave up 5 hits. So far, she doesn't have any. I'm sorry, there is a 1 hit. I'm gonna double check my scorecard.
You can tell she's definitely trying to get a feel for this umpire strike zone. A couple of those pitches looked pretty good. Right in there, right where they should be, and now she's down to a 3-1 count, still trying to figure out that strike zone.
I believe it's still the same umpiring crew. Obviously, the positions have rotated, but still the same crew that was out here for the first game. As Johnson out to the short, Davis able to collect, and 1 away for the Titans.
Yeah, same crew, but you know, you definitely see that in baseball and in softball. Different umpires, different pitches they like as a strike. You know, fortunately she got a ground ball there to save her from having to suffer through a walk.
Interesting windup here for Angelica Dark. Reminds me of Johnny Cueto, the pitcher for the Reds, has that turn there at the waist. Although Cueto's a little bit more pronounced, really knows how to hide that ball when he does that hip turn. You should be familiar, being a Phillies fan, be pretty familiar with Johnny Cueto.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of times with some of these guys, it's just part of the ritual. You know, you see Jeff Hornacek in the NBA, he would scratch his head wipe his brow every time he'd go to shoot. Different guys do different things. Bronson Arroyo with the Reds, he has his windup that he does every single time because that's, you know, maybe it doesn't help him, but it's just part of that comfortable routine.
Maddie Skibbets at the plate for the Titans. Swings on this one, driven out to center. Lepelt there to collect. 2 down for the Titans. Dark doing a good job here. Interesting, we were talking about this here earlier, Brian, that Pioneer has busted out the visors here. Usually you see those out when the sun is up, but interesting that the sun is starting to go down, that they break out the visors here for game 2. So Kiana Barron, the third baseman, did some relief duty in the second inning of the last game for Kiani Hunter, coming in here for her first at-bat of the ball game. Kiani Barron went 0 for 3 in the last game, striking out twice. This pitch is high for ball.
Well, I think that pitch was high because the first pitch, it did seem like it was in there. It looked good, but it gets called a ball, so you try to raise it up a little and overdo it.
Got the strike there for Dark. And Barron lays down the bunt. Almost well executed, but a better throw there from Carlierta Davis to get Barron out at first, and that ends the inning right here as Antelope maintains a 1-0 lead over the Pioneer Patriots. Welcome back, folks, to your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Joey Gonzalez alongside Brian Hassler. Emmanuel Chin bringing you the video as we're getting set to start the bottom of the second with Gabriella Davis coming up to bat for the Patriots. Keani Hunter still on the mound for the Titans. Pitch is there for strike one. Davis reached base twice last game on walks. Was thrown out at first and struck out in the last ball game. 0 for 2 officially. This time she's 0-2 to start this game. Davis laying off of that one. 1-2 now. This one chopped to Mark. Mark able to snag it and easily gets the out solo. Nice play there, Brian.
Absolutely. You get ahead 0-2. Good things happen. It was something that Antelope kind of struggled with that last game, getting ahead of the hitters. Even some of the strikeouts, it was more of a, down 3-1, and then she has to battle back and get the strikeout.
Well, we've got a discussion here. It looks like Davis is, Davis is still up, so it must have been a foul ball. I thought it was clearly called out, and that's what Coach Wallace is wanting to know. Why, he called it out and looked fair.
It looked, it looked fair. It looked fair. Your first baseman comes right up. She grabs the ball.
She grabs it. Yeah, she grabs it
while
before
it's fair.
Yeah, in play, it should be.
That's just.
Yeah, it should be.
Definitely.
If she snags it while it's in play, as you said, before it goes foul, then it's fair, and she has to make the play, and she did that.
Unless they're judging on what the ball might have done had it been allowed to get closer to first base, but that's not the way the game's played.
Well, Coach Wallace is not going to get the call she likes there, so it brings up, but still, a 1-2 count here to Davis. So Davis staying alive, and you wonder if that will play into the psyche here for the Titans. And Antelope really not liking the call there. Count is all even now at 2.
Yeah, that was definitely a second interesting call.
This time Davis up to Barron. Barron there, easy grab for Barron, and gets the second out finally. I'm sorry, the first out.
First out. Seems like 2.
Yeah.
There's about an inning's worth of pitching right there.
Breeze starting to pick up as the sun ducks behind the trees here at the Sacramento softball complex. Lights have come up here, getting into dusk hour. Those of us in the photography world like to call this the nearing the golden hour. And you just get the perfect light for those beautiful shots there. It's about a half hour before sunset and a half hour after sunset. Riley Carlier up to bat here for the Patriots, the third baseman. She reached on walk. Nice snag there by Barron over to Mark and able to get her out for 2.
Yeah, great run and grab there. Snagged the ball, was able to set her feet, made a good throw to first. You kind of, once you watch a lot of those, you learn to appreciate the beauty of a ground ball like that.
Well, there's been some great play on defensive play on both sides on the corners there for both Antelope and Pioneer. Here's Hunter. Although Arizaga laying off of that. Marissa Arizaga, the second baseman, last ball game, she was hit by a pitch there and reached on a walk. Only at bat she was 0 for 1. This one sends it over to Hughes. Hughes gets it to Mark, and an easy 6-3 out there for Antelope, as they're able to go 1, 2, 3 in that inning and continue the charge right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Well, welcome back here to the Sacramento Softball Complex. It's the Division III Sac-Joaquin Section Softball Final. Now with a 1-run lead right now, leading 1-0. He's getting ready to start the third inning. Coming up here for your Titans, it is the left fielder, Megan Asher. And then it will be followed by Kaylee Warner, the DP, and then we'll go back to the top of the lineup with Ashley Hughes. Angelica Dark still on the mound, and that's the one thing again, Brian, that I wonder is how long, how durable the arms are for both of these pitchers on both sides, and if we'll see one start to slip, you know, one start to get tired, and how effective they stay.
Yeah, and Dark didn't really throw a whole lot of pitches in that first. I mean, even that inning where she gave up the home run, there wasn't a lot of pitches thrown.
Right.
So you have to think, well, you know, if she is extremely durable, maybe she's got enough as long as these guys aren't batting around or anything.
0-2 now, the count to Asher as the breeze begins to pick up. One of the things that a lot of trees around here in this area, so the area stays real cool, and especially when the delta breeze starts blowing.
Yeah, that delta breeze can take you from feeling good about wearing shorts to the game to feeling like a real idiot for wearing shorts to the game.
1-2 the count now to Asher. Asher swings on that one, fouls it back. Interesting to see here. We're starting to see, I think just a little bit more, a little more intensity here from Antelope. You can see that as they were running off the field. You can see that at the plate. Here's Asher, swings on that one. A dribbler to Arizaga. Arizaga able to get it out to Davis for the out.
Not a whole lot of hard hitting though. I mean,
No.
That last game there was some definite shots, just hard hits. Even the pop flies, the ground balls were a lot harder. You have to wonder about the energy level. I mean, Antelope seems a lot more relaxed, but as far as strength and the energy to, really lay into one, I haven't really seen that so far.
So that brings Kaylee Warner to the plate. Kaylee Warner did not play in the last ball game. Kaylee is a junior, batting .077 on the year with 3 hits, 2 RBI. She's got 39 official at-bats and 44 plate appearances. Warner swings on that one. One and 2 now to Kaylee Warner. And swung on and struck out. First strikeout of the ball game there for Angelica Dark. And as Antelope sits 2 away now. So that'll bring up the top of the order now. Ashley Hughes, who scored the only run so far for the Titans. She reached on a single her last at bat.
That was another one of those pitches that looked good from here.
Right, yeah.
Very tough to get this umpire's strike zone down.
And Hughes able to swing on that one, and punches her out. Navarro with the strong arm, and Hughes upset, thought she had beaten the throw, but did not, as the umpire calls her out at first, as Antelope takes a 1-0 lead to the bottom of the third. Welcome back as getting set here to bring you the bottom of the third here for Pioneer. Up first, it is Emery Bear, the right fielder for the Patriots. Takes first pitch ball. Here's Hunter. Not able to get it in there. Ball 2.
And you can't fault the catcher on that one. She's doing a great job of framing that pitch, trying to help the umpire to see that it was in the strike zone. Just didn't get the call.
This one low. Ball 3, and Hunter was able to get out of the first couple of innings pretty easy here, Brian, but yeah, you wonder when she gets behind in the count, that's when there's some trouble for her. And takes walks the leadoff batter. You know that's got to raise some concern there for Coach Wallace.
Yeah, she definitely, the control has been a lot better. She's been getting these guys to hit into ground balls and pop flies. Control's been way better this game, but you have to wonder, is that going to change, in this inning?
Bear showing she wanted to run there as Kylie Juarez up to bat. The DP for the Patriots went 0 for 2 last ball game. Did draw a walk. This bunt, though, goes foul. So 1-1 now to Juarez. Juarez on the year prior to last game, a junior, is batting .200 with 4 hits and 2 RBI.
Yeah, you can definitely tell her trying to manufacture the run. Not a lot of power hitting so far. Just try and get her around and hope you bring her in.
As Juarez fouls this one away. 1-2 now. Sun is completely behind the trees. Nothing but shade now out on the field and in the stands. Breeze is really starting to come in and temperature's starting to drop. Pitch is high. One thing Pioneer's done is really made Hunter work for these strikes. As Juarez draws now a full count. Juarez chops that one to short, and Hughes goes for the easy out to Mark and able to get Juarez, but moves Bear over to second.
Great decision there, realizing you're not going to get the runner at second. Get the guaranteed out at first, and rather than try and force something that just isn't there.
They'll bring up the top of the order at Madison Bellin. The left fielder stands in left side of the batter's box. 1 away for the Patriots. Hunter so far throwing a one-hitter through 2. Not that it means a whole lot at this point, but just a nice little stat, nice little number to share.
Well, it's not a no-hitter. You don't have to worry about jinxing anything.
Pitch is there for a strike.
Honestly, I think all 3 of those pitches look to be in about the same area, and she did the same thing on every single pitch. So
looks like it's there. No, they're gonna go ball 3, 3-1, and Hunter is just that. You know, on both sides, it just seems like, you know, the pitchers aren't getting the calls that they're hoping for.
well, maybe it's even the calls that they're used to.
Right.
You know, they've already played once today. They were getting, you know, it's both the same pitchers. They were getting calls in this spot, this spot, this spot. They're thrown to that spot. They're not getting a call.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there over on Hunter's face and not getting the calls. She just has to rally through here. So Madison Bellin takes a walk. So we got runners on first and second now. Emery Bear on second, Madison Bellin on first. 1 away here for the Patriots. They'll bring up Bear on the pelt. Who struck out on her first at bat, struck out looking. 0 for 1 on the ball game. This one's put out to center field. Coming in, charging in was Johnson. Johnson doing a good job playing deep in center field. Came on the charge as soon as it was knocked out to her. And you can see her charging hard, Brian.
Yeah, that one definitely had the potential to be one of those little bloop singles. It causes a whole lot of problems and possibly brings a run in. Great job getting out, you know, reading the pitch, reading the ball, and getting there, making a great catch.
That brings up Angelica Navarro. Angelica Navarro has had a good couple of games here, not just out on the, you know, at shortstop, but also at the plate as well. Got a single. Her last at bat was actually went 2 for 4 in the last ball game. She had gotten a double, a single, and scored on that out of that double. 1-0 the count to Navarro. Pitch is low for ball 2. Another low pitch, and Hunter's having a hard time locating her pitches there, and fans not liking the tight strike zone here from the umpire. 3-0 the count to Navarro. Navarro looks that one, takes strike 1.
I know I'm the broken record, but that looked exactly like it's a hard thing when you don't get those, you don't get that call. You go from, you know, there was 3 good pitches there that probably should have been a strikeout. Instead, the bases are loaded. So it's definitely a hard thing for a pitcher to overcome the frustration of that.
Yeah, Navarro, the umpire having a tight strike zone, and Hunter not liking the fact that it's tight there. They're going to talk about it.
Well, you even see her out on the mound kind of doing that. You know, what do you want me to do? I put it in there, and it is a hard part. Nobody's going to be offering to buy his umpire cheesesteaks at the end of this one because both sides, the fans are strike. What was a strike last game is now a ball.
Yeah, and you understand that you know, and you would think, considering, you know, it's the same umpiring crew, but you know, umpires have their, you know, a lot of umpires have their own strike zones. Sometimes you hear that. It'll bring up Tori Bellin at the plate and can't get a strike there. Bases loaded here for the Patriots.
Yeah, I know if this was the majors, usually by this time Charlie Manuel or Bruce Bochy goes out and gets tossed just to try and prove a point.
Pitch is high for ball, and now you wonder if the cheering in the tight strike zone is going to start to get into Hunter's head.
Well,
You know, the frustration, you got to keep your cool.
that's the biggest problem with the tight strike zone is just that thing of where do you want me to throw it? You know, because if I can't put it on a platter because she'll rip this thing into the next county. I need, you know, where do you want me to throw it that it's going to be called a strike, but it isn't going to be right down the middle.
Right.
For the easiest home run anybody ever hit in base softball history.
So Coach Wallace having the discussion there with Hunter. Hunter trying to get out of this one. She's in a jam. Needs to get out of it. Needs one out. He needs to get it in play and thrown out. That one's outside. 3-0. The count to Tori Bellin. And I mean, you saw Hunter had that problem in the last game in the second inning. Maybe just a little late this time.
In this situation, I almost say, you know, nobody on Pioneer's really been able to hit for power.
Right.
Let her hit it, and you know your infielders, your outfielders are playing good softball.
Yeah, they've been playing some good defense there. That one chopped down the line, foul. So full count.
That looked fair.
You know, I think at least you see the umpire is decisive with his calls. You know, there's not a lot of indecision there with the call, and that's when things get real frustrating. This one dribbled back up to Hunter, and Hunter able to get out of the jam as she gets Tori Bellin dribbling up to her, able to get out of that frustrating inning there for the pitcher, but Antelope maintains a one-run lead as they move on to the top of the fourth inning. On your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Welcome back, folks, to your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Antelope with the one-run lead right now, leading the Pioneer Patriots. As we get set to start the fourth inning, up to bat here for the Titans. It is second baseman, Michaela Winston, my apologies there. 0 for 1 so far today. 1 for 2 going back to, 1 for 3 I should say, going back to the first game of the championship. Winston the freshman coming into the ball game batting .203 with 14 hits. And you wonder here whether or not Dark is going to get, you know, how she's going to handle this inning here.
Oh yeah, and you wonder how, you know, does the arm get cold or anything like that? Because that was definitely a long inning that she sat through waiting to get back on the mound to pitch.
Winston smacks this one foul. 1-2 now the count to the freshman. Pitch is high there for ball 2. Evens up the count. And Winston swings on that one, and Dark gets her swing in to retire Michaela Winston to bring up Emily Mark. 1 away here for the Titans.
Dark's continuing to show good stuff. You wouldn't have known she's pitched as many innings as she has the last couple of days.
Going back to the first ball game, that's her 8th strikeout of the day. Able to place that one right down the middle almost. Strike 1. Emily Mark was thrown out at first by Dark in the first inning. Not able to get the strike call there. 1-1.
Well, you've definitely seen the catchers have to do a lot more framing this game than they did the last game, which is always, you know, good practice for a catcher for the future.
Mark puts this one out to Lapelt. Lapelt able to come up underneath it for out number 2. Just after 8 o'clock here on the West Coast, 8:05 to be exact, in Sacramento, California, the Sacramento Softball Complex, the Division III Sac-Joaquin Section Softball Championship between the Pioneer Patriots, the Antelope Titans. Pioneer out of Woodland, California. Antelope out of Antelope, California, just down the freeway, down I-80. Woodland just north of Sacramento, beyond the Sacramento International Airport. As the pitcher, Keani Hunter, up to bat. Took the first pitch ball. Takes ball 2. Getting instructions there from Coach Wallace, looking for some more runs here. Hunter is the power batter for Antelope. She leads the team in home runs with 7, 8 to be exact, actually, after the one earlier today. And Hunter able to take a 4-pitch walk there to get on base and extend the inning here for the Titans. I was getting ready to say it was in this inning last ball game where she got a home run. So Keani Hunter is going to sit, and we've got, as soon as I can see who it is, we've got a pinch runner here for Antelope. That's the freshman Kearns. Sorry, that's Emma Kearns running in place for, pinch running for Hunter at first. This one's ripped down the line. It's going to fall foul. Madison Bellin not able to get to it. Seems to me that she's the only Patriot out there with no visor. Actually, well, a number of them not wearing any visors. The entire outfield isn't wearing any visors. And neither is Urizaga at second. Pitch is there for another call strike. 0-2 the count now.
A rare 0-2 count.
To the center fielder, Savannah Johnson, who was thrown out at first, her last at bat. This one chopped to short. And Navarro able to throw it on the run. Low throw, but able to get Johnson out as Davis taking the throw nicely in and retires aside. Going into the bottom of the fourth, Antelope still leading 1-0 right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Well, Antelope has a 1-run lead here as we get start with Gabriella Davis. The first baseman gets us going here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Wind really picking up, and Gabriella Davis splits the gap, finds a hole, and able to reach on a ground single.
And it seemed like Antelope's defenders infield has been all over the place. They've had a hard time getting a ground ball by them. That one she definitely did and picked a good spot. You know, pulled it, or didn't pull it, but drove it the other side and, you know, see what they can do with her on first base now.
It brings up Riley Carlier, who is 0 for 1 in this game. Third baseman, she's had a great game, a very good game, couple of games I should say. You know, and at third, bunts this one's gonna stay. Great bunt, moves Davis over. Winston able to handle the throw from Skibitsky, but not before Carlier laid down the sac bunt and moved Davis into scoring position over at second. Pioneer fans cheering. Hunter with a wild pitch, and Davis takes third base.
Yeah, and you just can't afford to do stuff like that. I mean, you're making it that much easier for him. It was already a tough situation with the runner on second. Giving him a free pass to third base like that, definitely the worst possible time to do that.
Pioneer fans making some noise here. Pitch is low. Ball 2. Pitch outside for Hunter. Antelope fans not liking that. 3-0 the pitch count to Urizaga, Marissa Urizaga, the second baseman. 0 for 1 today, and takes that pitch strike. Pitch is high, and Urizaga takes her base. Brings up Amaray Bear.
Pioneer fans get into it. You can hear some voices cracking. Those are grown men. They're just very excited, and the voices are starting to crack. They've been waiting for something like this all game.
Pitch is low for ball. And Skibitsky will have another conference there with Hunter. And Hunter again having some difficulty locating the strike zone. And getting calls here, Brian, and, you know, isn't a good, you know, she's trying to keep her head clear. There's Arizaga now on second. And Marie Bear stepping in. The right fielder. Facing a 1-0 count. 2-0 now. And, you know, give credit here to Pioneer laying off some of these pitches. They were really going for it earlier in the ball game earlier. Now they're starting to lay off Hunter and force Hunter to throw some strikes.
Well, I mean, the hitters are definitely starting to get an idea for Pioneer where the strike zone is. And, you know, hey, if they'll take the walks anytime they can get them.
Pitch is there for a strike. You know, Hunter will fall behind early in the count. And then we'll eventually locate that one strike, but it is this situation here where good job there by Skibitsky. Hunter throwing a bit of a wild pitch there into the dirt, loads the bases up, but Skibitsky doing a good job of staying in front of it and not allowing the runner to score there. So bases loaded now for the Patriots as Anne-Marie Bear took another walk. You know, bottom of the fourth, Hunter has thrown only a one-hitter, but has had problems locating the strike zone. That time swung on and fouled back by Kylie Juarez.
Well, it's important, especially if there's a ground ball here. Remember, there's a force out at home. You know, if you can get it home to avoid giving up that run, but there's the force out at any base.
0-2 now to Juarez as she fouls a second one back. Starting to get chilly here, and the Delta breeze going. This one's low for ball 1-2. Swung on, put into play. Winston able to catch it and could not handle it. Winston came behind it and was able to keep the runners on base. So 2 away here for the Patriots.
That was a really weird fly ball. It looked like it was heading more towards the outfield and then kind of spun back in right behind first base. I almost thought that might drop just based on just the trajectory of the ball.
Brings up the top of the order now with Madison Bellin on the plate. She took she walked last time. This time takes a strike. A lot of people unhappy with the umpire. Fans and all sorts. Really letting them have it here. Gets a ball there. 1-1. Bases loaded here for the Patriots. Down 1-0. Puts a bet on that. That one goes foul. Oh, it was interesting. These batters with that when they got that running stance, they, you know, run at it to try to get some momentum. It's a running swing. 1-2 now, the count to Bellin, and
What now?
you wonder whether or not Hunter had said something to him. And this is when things get really dangerous, because you wonder whether or not Hunter is having a problem. She gets, you know, frustrated and starts, you know, the frustration starts to show on her face. You know, these are high stakes. There's a lot at stake here for both sides, and so, you know, it's easy to see how, if what you've been doing, what you're so used to, isn't working out for you, how someone can lose their, you know, lose their composure a bit.
Well, you understand the frustration, but I mean, at this point, you're ahead on the count. You're one good pitch away from finishing this inning and still being in the lead. This isn't the time to lose your top. You know, if something else were to happen, if it's a different score, a different situation, but right now is not the time to lose it and start yelling at the ump.
Well, I'm trying to figure out here. I can't really exactly hear what the situation is. Could be just a bit of gamesmanship here as Bellin facing a 2-2 count. Now, fans on both sides really starting to make noise here. Pitch is low for ball. Full count now, and everybody letting the umpire know. Ball is put into play. Here's Paul. Throw is low. And Davis scores. And they keep runners on. Throw was low from Hughes to Mark. Mark could not grab it. And Madison Bellin, that short chopper to Hughes. I mean, that was just hit very well. I mean, if it was hit with any more intensity than that, I mean, it would have been easy out there for Hughes. But Hughes had to come out on it and just took a weird throw.
Well, she had nowhere to throw it other than first. You look at the other bases, and first was her best option. But, yeah, that was about as close as they get.
Only the second hit there given up by Hunter. And this was put into play by the Pelt. That's going to score 1, 2, maybe 3. And Madison Bellin gets out, coming in, trying to score the third run there. But Antelope and Skibitsky able to get her out. But we've got some momentum going now as Pioneer takes a 3-1 lead over Antelope. Welcome back, folks, here to your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. And what's done is done. And if you're Antelope here, Brian, you just got to, start getting some runs here and get that offense going. You understand, how the umpire is going to, how he's going to call the game. And it's up to you to whether or not, you can get the pitches where they need to be and then get that bat on the ball and start bringing in some runs. So starts the top of the fifth here. Antelope with Maddie Skibitsky takes first pitch ball. Angelica Dark still on the mound. Pitch was low there. 2-0. And at the end of the day, that's what you want, is you just want an umpire to call it the same both ways.
Well, yeah, and you watch the games where maybe the ump's not calling the high pitch, or, he's setting up a different strike zone. As long as he's consistent, most teams, most players are pretty happy with that. Even if you're bad, just be consistently bad in calling one thing. When things are changing around, and 1 second it's a strike, and the next inning it's not, that's when things can get frustrated. That's when you see some frustration starting to show through.
Madison Bellin coming in and able to snag the pop-up from Maddie Skibitsky. Will bring up Kiana Barron. Barron fouls this one back towards us. Into the trees.
Well, you get a nice view of the moon here, and it looks like it's a full moon, so that could have some bearing as to why things have started to get a little heated here, and people are acting a little less than happy.
One and one the count to Barron. Barron was thrown out at first, so last at bat. And this, you're going to hear Coach Wallace really start to lose it a little bit here, as that's a call strike there. 1-2 the count to Barron. Barron able to put this one, popped up to Navarro. Navarro calling it 2 away for Antelope. That brings up Megan Asher, the left fielder. Asher, only a freshman, batting .205 this year. Takes this pitch low.
The frustration's definitely going to be there for Antelope. You're hitting this point. All of a sudden, the number of outs you have, ground ball out at first there, all of a sudden the number of outs you have starts to diminish. And you start looking at it going, okay, we have 6 outs. We need to do something. And that's exactly the situation that Antelope is in right now.
Antelope, or I should say Pioneer, coming up to the top of the 5th. Up 3-1 right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Joey Gonzalez here with Brian Hassler producing, Emmanuel Chin-Chun video here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. It's the Division III Sac-Joaquin section softball final. Pioneer leading 3-1 right here from the Sacramento softball complex. And the story of the game is a pitching duel is up to bat here to start the bottom of the fifth for Pioneer is Angelica Navarro. And she takes the first pitch. She takes a walk, and so again, Hunter having some problems here. And now you imagine you're Antelope, you just got to play, roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, you've been complaining, and you got your fans, you know, screaming on your behalf. It hasn't changed a thing. It's to that point of you just have to roll with it, do the best you can under the circumstances with the person that you're dealing with.
But a well-placed bump there. And Winston took her foot off the bag as Tori Bellin doing a great job just laying the bunt right in front of Skibitsky, and Skibitsky couldn't get to it.
Well, it was a very good throw for what she slipped, she fell. I mean, a great throw to first, but it just a little bit outside, drew the first. She would have had her out had that throw not been wide. So that, I mean, you definitely can't complain about that throw. She slipped, she fell. She still did the best she could under the circumstances to try and make something good happen.
So it brings up Gabriella Davis. I believe there was a switch.
This is definitely huge for Pioneer. Get a chance to score hopefully some insurance runs. That's probably the way they're looking at it. I mean, it's nice to be up 2-1. You'd rather be up 6-1.
There is a pinch runner there for Pioneer. As Gabriella Davis showing bunt. Hunter able to toss Davis out at first, but not before moving both runners to scoring position. So one away for Pioneer.
And I have no problem playing small ball in this case here. Runs have been at a premium. Definitely nothing wrong with just trying to move the runners around. Even if all you can get out of this inning is another run or so, it's definitely worth it when you see how little offense has gone on in this game.
It is Maddie Marquez running at second in place of Angelica Navarro. Takes this pitch high. Want to know the count to Carlier. Carlier swings on. And we're going to see if there's an interference, but there shouldn't be any interference. It's foul ball. And
it was a foul ball, but had she not run into the runner, that would have been an out.
Right.
But it was a foul ball, so it's definitely this. Either way, there's going to be half the people here are going to be pretty ticked off.
Well, what Barron needs to do, you got to get a run around the runner, because the runner is allowed to maintain her position. She has to stay on base, does not have to give up position. And although it may have looked like she was blocking her, I mean, the runner, and in fact, in this case, it is.
Yeah, she stayed stationed on third base. She didn't run. She didn't try and knock the third baseman out.
Right.
She stayed right where she was supposed to be.
Yeah, in this case, Maddie Marquez has, as you said, she has the right to be in that position. So I know Coach Wallace is wanting to get, clarification on that, and, trying to figure out how are we going to get through this. Main factor you need to do is just, again, maintain composure. You're down 2 runs.
Well, you can definitely understand both sides'
Right.
arguments on this one. She would have caught it had the runner not been there, but the runner
has the right to stay. Yeah.
has the right to stay on base.
Yeah, she goes off, she can be called out. So this one belted deep into center field. Gonna bring in a run. And Navarro able to tag up. Johnson was able to snag the deep fly ball from Carlier, but Navarro able to score. And the question is whether or not she tagged up. And that's what, and that was the argument here from the Antelope side, but the ball was deep enough there, Brian. I mean, it was clear that she had tagged up. And so well-placed deep sack fly there by Carlier.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not one of those shallow fly balls where, as a base runner, you're trying to maximize every inch you can get. This was one of those that was hit deep enough. The tagging up and making it home was not a problem. So I don't see the runner risking it, cutting it that close when this is this is an elementary play here. It's like, oh, it's hit deep enough, that's a run.
And now fans starting to chant my favorite chant of all time. The Seven Nation Army chant.
I always kind of liked when they did Iron Man. I was more of an Iron Man fan.
Yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic. I'm not a big fan of the Seven Nation Army fan chant. And snagged, unable to get to it, was Hughes. And a run coming in at the plate. And she's called safe. And Skibinski hating that. Marquez sliding under the tag of Skibinski.
The one thing you notice on that play is the third baseman, rather than go over to get the loose ball and throw it home so there's plenty of time to spare, ran to third and waited. And it forces your shortstop, who not only dove to get the ball, but has to run all the way over to catch the deflection and then throw it home. So there was definitely a miscommunication there. It's one of those things where this runner's going to go home. You're closer to the ball. Get there, get it home, and get her out.
Yeah, Skibinski not doing a good job there by by Marquez to get under the tag there.
And that was another one that it looked like they had her dead to rights. And, ump says she juggled the ball, so that's another run, another insurance run.
So it brings up Emory Bear. And Hunter having a tough time staying out of this one, but things opening up here, 5-1. Hunter finding the strike zone there. Yeah, it's interesting here. You can see a lot of folks here talking with the management of the softball complex. Not sure if it's frustration with the umpire.
Well, it may even be a situation of the softball complex is talking to them, saying, hey, you've set it up.
Oh, no, I've seen it, yeah, and they're over there talking with the CIF official as well,
okay.
So it's interesting to see what's happening here. Emory Bear putting this one. This is going to go foul territory. Warner not able to get to it in time.
Usually when it's a complex representative, it's you said enough to the ump, he understands you don't like him. Time to quiet down.
So I'm not exactly sure what the complaint is here, but Emory Bear settling in.
Well, the seats are a little hard and cold here, so.
2-2 the count to Bear. Hunter, frustration showing on her face. And now Barone able to tag her out. Barron, able to get Bear at first, but not before damage was done. As Pioneer takes a 5-1 lead going into the top of the sixth right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Welcome back to your destination for high school sports. Play on sports.com. Batting change, lineup change here in the lineup for the Titans. Emma Kearns will be coming in to bat for Kaylee Warner. Kearns coming in, a freshman. Only has one at bat for the year. And so Coach Wallace really digging deep to try to find someone to get on base to generate some offense. Need to score, get 4 runs in these next couple of innings. Well, that's it. Pitch was up. Looked like a ball. Get a call strike there. 1-1 to count to Kearns. Here's Dark. Pitch is low. Good job by Kearns laying off of it.
Well, and Antelope had this. They were in this situation in the last game. They really started to press. They started to just swing at anything. Just be interesting to see what they do in this similar situation.
Kearns swings at that one, fouls it away. You know, it's called plate discipline, and that's what you need to maintain. You know, I mean, you know, 8:40 now in Sacramento. The Sacramento softball complex. Joey Gonzalez sitting with Brian Hassler. Kearns takes that one for ball. Full count now for Antelope. Kearns, and Dark snags it right out of the air. Great fielding. Good job there by Angelica Dark, as Kearns seemed to put a good knock on it, but Dark right there to snag it out. Set her up for the Gold Glove.
You always wonder those kind of hits. Did you catch it because you saw it, or did you catch it because you were just trying to save your life? But that was a heck of a grab right there. I mean, that was a rocket.
Well, a lot of times it's just reactionary. You just put your hand up there, but a great job there by Dark. Brings up Ashley Hughes, who squirts it in through the gap out to center and gets Hughes on base.
Yeah, that one was a definite hit. That would have dropped for a single, that first one. So Dark definitely saved herself some trouble. Rather than have 2 on, she has 1 on.
So we've got a bit of a conference here, a timeout between the squads to talk things over. The infield having their conference, trying to bring it home. Outfield talking strategy, and Ashley Hughes stay it first. We've got Michaela Winston getting set, and Emily Mark on deck. So here goes Winston. Bunts down, lays down the nice bunt to move the runner. That's 2 away though. Well played there by Davis, between Davis and Arizaga.
This is the time I don't like maybe it's having read Moneyball a couple times, hating the sacrifice bunt after reading it. I don't get it in that situation. You're down by more than a couple runs. Moving 1 runner up is not going to make a lot of difference. You need base hits. You need to move people around without sacrificing outs.
Brings up Emily Mark, who's 0 for 2 today. Takes this pitch high for ball. swings on that one. Strike one. One and one the count to Mark. The first baseman. This one put into play, into the gap, will bring a runner home. There's no play at the plate. So 5-2 as Ashley Hughes comes all the way around a RBI single there for Emily Mark. And going into this inning, Dark had a one-hitter going, but now is giving up 2 hits. Brings up Keani Hunter. Now in the first game, Keani Hunter took Dark deep for a 2-run home run. Obviously, she's trying to come up big again. And unless something changes, this might be her final opportunity to do something against Dark. 0-1 the count to Hunter. Gets her to chop to short, snags it, but no play. But a good job there by Navarro to not let that ball go out to left field.
And that was one of those, it looked like kind of the mid-tempo. It wasn't a slow roller, but it was just above a slow roller. So that's one of those where if she doesn't get it, you're looking at least at a runner on third, possibly a runner on second. So no out, but a great grab by her.
Well, 2 away brings up Savannah Johnson, the tying run, to the plate. Takes a first pitch strike. Mark is at second, Hunter on first. And Johnson, check swing, couldn't stop it in time, 0-2.
I couldn't tell if that was a check swing or one of those running swings.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like it was halfway in between both of those.
And Johnson puts this one out to right field, no play, safe at first. They'll bring a run in, and Hunter gets all the way to third. And Antelope starting to rally now as Johnson now takes second. And Dark will call a timeout. So things starting to get a little hot here for the Titans. You know, Brian, I mean, it's interesting, though. I mean, we were right in the heart of the order, but now going to the bottom of the order here, starting to go to the bottom of the order here with Maddie Skibitsky. I mean, she's the 6th batter, and you wonder, you know, what Coach Wallace has in store for her.
Well, it was very smart play by Antelope there. Just keep going. You notice that the Pioneer stopped. They thought the runner was out at first. The runners kept going. We're going to move up a base. We're going to get a run home. Keep going. You know, you don't stop till the whistle blows, or in this case, until the ump signals somebody out. But very heads-up play by Antelope on that.
So score that, an RBI single for Johnson, reaches second on a fielder's choice. Yeah, Skibitsky takes the first pitch strike. And Pioneer decides to, you know, go ahead and walk, pitch away from Skibitsky and walk, load up the bases to get to Kiana Barron. And Kiana Barron, I mean, I don't blame them. She hasn't had a you know, great day. She's only reached base. She hasn't reached base all day long. Struck out twice in the first game and was thrown out at first. Does not have a hit all game long here. In fact, she flied out too short last at bat and was put out at first, her first at bat. So here comes Kiani Barron, the third baseman. So to force Coach Wallace to make a decision here. But just, you got to go and have confidence in your batter and just have her just put it into play.
Well, we mentioned this earlier. You still have to wonder, is this pitch count, is Dark constantly pitching, has that caught up to her?
And that time, Dark, you said it. You wonder what happened there, taking a pitch up in the head, hit by pitch by Barron, and that's all she needed to do. Take that pitch, and they got runners, bases loaded, brings in Hunter. 5-4 now, Brian, in an interesting sixth inning here for Dark.
Yeah, and it just, maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's something else, but it does seem like she's had incredible control both last game and this game, and now it just looks like that control has eluded her for this entire inning.
But you wonder, she pitched 14 innings yesterday.
I mean, you
21 coming into before this ball game.
You definitely can't blame her. She's put up a heck of an effort. But at some point, it starts to get to be too much when you've thrown that many pitches.
So it brings up Megan Asher at the plate. Puts in a 1-1 count. Titans down 5-4. Seems like Pioneer has been stuck on 2 outs for quite some time. In fact, the last out was back Michaela Winston. He sacrificed bunt. That was 6 batters ago.
And that has to be the frustrating part, being that close to being out of this inning with a nice lead.
Gonna get a foul tip. There is Megan Asher had made contact. Smart heads-up play there by Johnson. And folks, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm sorry. My voice starts to get a little cracked here. I'm starting to get a little chilly with the wind blowing. So doing what I can to stay warm. It feels more like football weather than softball weather, though. Asher swung on and fouls that back. Stuck on 1 and 2. Antelope doing all they could to rally here in this inning. Takes that pitch for a ball, and you hear the oohs and ahs here from the Pioneer fans.
Well, sometimes you have a ball that is a strike, but the batter does the little, oh no, it almost hit me, and they can sell the ump on that.
Asher swinging on that one and brings in a run. And Antelope takes the lead on a wild pitch from Angelica Dark. So this is one of those interesting, should have been an out, but on a third pitch strike, Bellin couldn't handle the pitch there, Brian, and Megan Asher heads up play, take a run in, and brings in not only Johnson, but Skibitsky as well.
How many times have you ever seen a wild third strike result in 2 runs? That does not happen often.
It's, and this is where things get a little wild and wacky. Should be a third out, but, it's a wild pitch. And so a strikeout, Dark does record the strikeout, but because it was a wild pitch, it got away from Bellin. Asher was able to take the base, and I think you wonder, what's the discussion here by the umpires? But with that, just an unbelievable 5-run inning here for Antelope to take the 1-run lead. And Dark deals there for strike 1. And we've cycled the order here, Brian, gone back. And Emma Kearns, who began who was the first batter up in this inning, is back up on deck. Is back up at the plate. She started the inning by flying out. I mean, she was the one that had that line drive right back to dark.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be a frustrating inning. You cruise to those first 2 outs, and you're looking good, and finally you get your 4th out of the inning.
4th out of the inning, the 2nd strikeout of the inning, but not before Antelope did some damage, was able to come back and take the 1-run lead. They now lead 6-5 over Pioneer going into the bottom of 6th. Well, it's going to be interesting here, Brian, to see how Pioneer responds. You know, really took a beating there. It almost equate that 6th inning to the 2nd inning that, and Pioneer starting on a good mark there as Kaylee Juarez puts that ball into play out in the right field and takes the leadoff single.
The Pioneers had the momentum. They had the momentum for the most of the last game. They've had it for the bulk of this game. So very interesting to see how they play, low on outs, low on time. What are they going to do to at least tie this thing up and try and get the lead back?
That brings up Madison Bellin. And Hunter, let's see if Hunter, the 1-run lead relaxes Hunter. And whether or not she'll be able to locate her pitches a lot better. 2-0 count now for Bellin.
Well, that's been the big thing with Hunter these last 2 games is control. 1 inning, she's sharp. The next inning, there's a lot of balls. There's some walks.
Does get that call strike. Juarez on first, chops this one foul. Evens up the count. Two and two now to Bellin, who reached on a single or last at bat back in the 4th inning. Takes this one for ball 3, so full count now to Bellin. Some pressure here on Hunter. Chops this one foul. At this point now it's just, you want to have those long at-bats, right, Brian? I mean, and try to wear down the pitcher as much as you can.
Yeah, but you got to wonder how worn down is the pitcher pitching her 2nd straight game. I mean, she did have that 1 inning off, but she's been going the distance.
It's Max Johnson coming up on that one, able to snag it. It looked like she was going to miss that, Brian. I mean, she came up and then had to take a few steps back in order to get to it. So
yeah, she definitely misjudged that. You saw her charging, probably thinking the ball was going to drop, try and limit that runner to 2nd base, and then it just kind of took off on her. So you see her start to backpedal and made a great grab, though.
Then I'll bring up Aaron Lippelt, who reached on a double last at bat. This one goes into foul territory, so 0-1 to Pelt. The Pelt smacking this one deep, could go out. It is out. Home run. Aaron the Pelt had Megan Asher going deep in left field. And just like that, a 2-run home run puts Pioneer on top 7-6.
She got all that, definitely pulled it. I mean, you saw that, but she got under it and just barely carried it over. But hey, whether it's 1 foot over or 10 feet over, it's over. Great swing, great hit. Exactly how you'd want a game like this to go down to. These two teams playing great softball right at the end.
Big, nice at bat there for Aaron LaPelle to reclaim the lead for the Patriots. The 1-out, 2-run home run. Now, Angelica Navarro has had a fantastic game at the plate and in the field. It's got a 1-for-1 today. Scored a run in her last plate appearance. She reached on a walk. This one's going to be fouled down the right, down the first baseline, but scored a run. She reached on a walk. In fact, her last 2 plate appearances were walks. So 1 out here for Antelope as Hunter gave up the lead. A 2-run shot by Aaron LaPelt. Yeah, it's LaPelt's only her 2nd home run of the year, and this one smacked to right field. Hunter falling down, can't get to it. Here's Navarro going all the way, coming all the way home. There's going to be a play at the plate, and throw was off, and an inside the park home run by Angelica Navarro pushes the lead up 8-6.
Well, that looked like it should have been caught. That looked like, I mean, it was headed right for her glove. I thought she was at the very, even if she didn't catch it, she'd be able to at least trap it, limit her to a double. But it did not work out that way. That was great base running. She just kept going, followed the coach's lead. And
yeah, she put her head down, looked at her third base coach, and I mean, she had some speed running around those bases. And again, Angelica Navarro just having a tremendous ball game. Has not recorded an out here. 2 for 2 with 2 runs for the shortstop. That brings up Tori Bellin. Tori Bellin now. He came all the way home in the last inning. Hunter, and now they're just getting all the gaps here, as we're right in the heart of the order here for Pioneer. And interesting to see how these two teams just swap back and forth. Tori Bellin able to reach on a single.
Well, you definitely see the swing of the momentum here from Pioneer to Antelope and then back to Pioneer. And they seem like they have it now, and there's no point stopping. I mean, with the way Antelope played that last inning, you got to put some runs on the board.
Brings up Gabriella Davis. Call strike here for Davis. 0-1. Davis chops at that one. Emily Mark able to get to it at first and forces the out to Davis. So Riley Carlier has got a sacrifice bunt. This ball game pitches up. Ball one. Joey Gonzalez with Brian Hassler and Emmanuel Chin here in Sacramento softball complex. Temperatures dipping, starting to get chilly. But we will crown a Sac-Joaquin Section Division III champion before the end of the night. Right, and Carlier finds a gap. Play not in time as Bellin comes in for the 9th run of this ball game.
Yeah, that's another great hit, another solid swing there, and you can't really fault the third baseman. I mean, that just was a rocket bringing in that run. They're really swinging the bats well. They definitely woke up after that last inning.
Yeah, it was a long inning, and as Carlier comes out, got a pinch runner here for Carlier. Next to me, it's Cody Tibbs, pinch running for Carlier.
You kind of wonder what Antelope is thinking about as far as a pitching change. I mean, even behind, they're still within striking distance. I am kind of surprised that they haven't made a change there because it's just not working right now with what she's throwing. I mean, and it's not her fault altogether. She's pitched a great game, a great 2 games. But
there's Arizaga at the plate for the Patriots. Arizaga, not a bad last couple of bats. Reach base, or last at bat. And this one over the head of Barron, out to left field, and able to get on. And this heart of the order has really been tough to get out here for Hunter, and actually now reaching the bottom of the order as we've got the 8th batter coming up, Emery Bear. So a good hitting team. You can see it's on full display here for the Patriots.
Well, I really like what they're doing. I like the fact that they're not grinding, they're not pressing. They're, we're going to wait for the right pitch, and we're going to, nobody's trying to hit a home. Well, somebody hit a home run, but no one's trying to hit a home run every time. It's more of a, hey, there's a spot there. Good solid swings, good solid softball. Just keep those runners moving.
Bear takes the first pitch ball. Strike one. Easy chopper there to Mark and able to get the put out, but out before a four-run inning there for the Patriots, and now Pioneers only 3 outs away from their first ever Division III section championship. 3 outs away. That's all that Pioneer needs to win their second softball championship in the school's history. They won back in '06. That was Division IV that time, but this time trying to wrap up Division III by knocking out Antelope, a team that had beaten them last week. In fact, it's back on Saturday by a score of 6-2. But so we're at the top of the order here with Ashley Hughes stepping in, and she's going to have to try to get things going here for the Titans. She gets a call strike here. Angelica Dark trying to wrap up 32 innings of pitching here in 2 days. Impressive outing there for the pitcher as this is followed out of play.
Yeah, being a baseball junkie, if any manager allowed his starting pitcher to throw 32 innings in 2 days, he would be out of a job very, very soon.
Dark only a sophomore, an interesting matchup here because both the starting pitchers of both squads have really been impressive and been showing a lot of strength here, both only sophomores. Here's Hughes, puts this one into center field, and LePelt able to come down on it. One away, only 2 outs needed now for the Patriots.
That looks like what they used to call the Texas Leaguer. I don't know if you ever remember that old baseball term where it's too far for the infield and too close for the outfield.
Too short for the outfield, yeah.
So it drops in and the guy gets on base and everybody makes fun of him for hitting it so weak.
Brings up Michaela Winston. Winston had scored a sacrifice bunt her last at bat. Takes first pitch strike. Swung on and missed. 0-2 to Winston. Winston putting it into play, still was foul, but Davis unable to get to it.
I was right up against that fence. I thought she might have a shot at it, but she ran into the fence and just kind of threw her angle off a little bit.
Right. So Winston keeps the at-bat alive. Dark swing for Winston. This is going to be tough to field. And great job there by Navarro. And Davis able to get to it. Winston could not run it out. And now Pioneer just needs 1 out to claim the Division III section crown.
Really great job by that first baseman digging it out. That was a one-hopper to her, and I thought, well, with the one hop, she's not going to be able to get the out. But a great play by her.
Emily Mark, who scored on a RBI single. This one's there for a strike. 0-1. Dark. There's Mark. Up for grabs. And Antelope stays alive. As Emily Mark had put it out to no man's land, just a bloop single there just past the infield. And neither Bear or Arizaga could get to it in time.
Almost looked like that thing was going to hang up there. You saw both of them converging on it, both of them staring at it. I thought one of them would be able to reach it.
Brings up Kiani Hunter, the pitcher, who scored her last at bat. This one hit in well into the gap. get runners at first and second. And now Savannah Johnson, the tying run, comes up to the plate.
She almost hit that too hard.
Right.
That got to the outfield so quick the runners couldn't advance further. But hey, if you're Antelope, you're not going to complain. You'll take a hit like that. Now you need another hit like that.
2 outs for the Titans. They're able to right in the heart of the order right now. Emily Mark and Keani Hunter were able to reach base. Now it's up to Savannah Johnson to see if they can bring him home. Fans on their feet. Takes the first pitch, strike. Antelope show and run. You know, at this point, it's really run on anything. Johnson smacks this one. It's going to pop up in the infield. Should be an easy grab. Davis grabs it for the out, and Pioneer wins. The Pioneer Patriots rally in the bottom of the 6th inning, scoring 4 runs, beating the Antelope Titans 9-6. They are your Sac-Joaquin section Division III softball champions. To go away, folks, we're going to step away, but we should be back with some post-game thoughts and questions and a wrap-up coming up right after this on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. We're just going to wrap. We're going to do a player of the game, or? Welcome back, folks, here to Play on Sports, your destination for high school sports in the Division III Sac-Joaquin Section Softball Championship, where Pioneer beat Antelope 6-5. So they are your Division III Sac-Joaquin Section champions. Give you some numbers here. Antelope Pioneer coming away. They finish with 11 hits on the day, 1 error. Almost had to stumbling there. I mean, they were going away with this, you know, they had that big 5-1 lead until they got into the 6th inning there, Brian. But really, it had seemed to have control of this ball game early on.
Well, yeah, they did. I mean, they had the stumble, they had the bad inning, which you have to expect at some point. It's going to bite you at some point. But they came back, they fought hard. Both teams deserve a lot of credit. Both sides, you know, there was some complaints about the umpire, but both teams really seemed to step it up those last couple innings. And, you know, just, okay, we're going to put that aside, we're going to go for it. And you can't really fault either side. Both sides played a heck of a game. If you're either coach, you have to be proud of what your players accomplished playing today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Angelica Dark, you know, just impressive outing, couple of outings for her. 4 strikeouts in this ball game through the complete 7 innings. That's, you know, 32 innings of pitch, 32 innings pitched for the sophomore in back-to-back nights. Just impressive. I mean, one of the reasons why she's our player of the game here for, you know, our Play on Sports player of the game, because just the impressive outing she had in back-to-back nights.
Well, and that's a real championship player there. They rode her to the end. It's a lot of pressure when the team basically, you're going to pitch every single inning of this tournament, and we'll win or lose with you. And it's a lot of pressure, and when it mattered most, she really stood up under it, and she definitely deserves player of the game honors.
So that's going to wrap it up, folks, here from the Sacramento softball complex, and wrap it up for the softball season here in the Sac-Joaquin section as as Pioneer defeats Antelope by a score of 9-6 to become your Division III Sac-Joaquin section champions. It's their second championship in school history, their first since 2006, their first ever in Division III. Antelope Dark, our player of the game. So, folks, make sure you come back, check out our PlayOnSports.com broadcast schedule as we got some baseball on the way. I know we got some other action coming up along on the weekend as well, but a full slate of baseball games for Memorial Day. Should be a fun weekend there. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. For my producer Brian Hassler, our videographer Emmanuel Chin, I'm Joey Gonzalez saying so long, folks. Thank you for watching as Pioneer, your Division III Sac-Joaquin section champions, right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a